5 ways to lose money from property. Hi, my name is Alan from Alan Way Property. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It has been some time since I last did a video on such topic. From some of my earlier videos, such as 3 tips to buy a good property, to 5 types of property I will not consider for investment, and the top 9 mistakes buyers make when buying a property. In today's video, I'll be talking about 5 ways to lose money from properties. Yes, you hear me correctly. If you know how to siam and avoid the ways to lose money, this indirectly means you will learn the ways to make money instead. With that, let's go over to the details. The biggest way to lose money is to buy a private property as your matrimonial home. Why do I say that? Well, I know some will disagree with me on that. Some will say private property make more money than HDB flat. That is why for those that have committed to a HDB flat at the onset, their climb to buy a private property will be more challenging in the future. Yes, this partially makes sense too. No doubt, I don't wish to dispute that. However, my take is, if you are the high income earner and you are no longer eligible for HDB BTO flats, and your parents are prepared to bless you with $500,000 for you to enter the private market, then please by all means, go and buy a private property. However, if you are still eligible for HDB BTO flats, yet you turn your attention to the private market instead, then I think you have missed out on a very big pot of gold lying before you after MOP. This pot of gold is extremely safe, low risk, high return. That is why I hardly see anyone lose money buying BTO flats in my 15 years in sales. If you lose money, this means you are very heng. Here, some may ask, why BTO flats or even resale flats? When you are young, you have many priorities such as establishing your career to starting a family. That is why I've seen those who step into the private arena have to settle with a high monthly mortgage every month. This left them with less saving. Like that, how to have babies? Needless to say, some of them fall into this 美人计 or pretty lady trap. They visit some show units, they see some very beautiful properties. The deco is nice, the setting is fantastic, the ambient gives you an air of luxury. Plus, there are also many nationalities that own such properties, from the Chinese, Indonesian, to Malaysians, to even Amor. Some of these buyers are even celebrity and are the who and who. Their property is right in the heart of the city, where the excitement of the city come alive in the night. You are next to the action. How to go wrong? Not knowingly, they have bought the most beautiful properties in Singapore at record prices. If their property is on freehold tenure, I can still accept it. However, if it's on 99 years, xiao liao. The government have so many GLS sites in the future. Maybe the upcoming GLS site can push up the resale value in the near future. You never know. One such example is the sale at Marina. This project has seen a lot of speculation activities before those cooling measures. However, when you try to offload them in the resale market, if the market is good and foreigners are in drove to buy such properties, you can surely offload this beautiful property to make a fortune. However, you must time the market correctly. Such window of opportunity is pretty limited. When the market turns cautious and foreigners are not entering due to the higher ABSD, this means the odds of selling such homes are extremely limited. Sorry folks, once developer offload the property to you, you have to bear all the risks. You enter with your eyes open. Please don't blame your property agent if you lose money. When you make money, you also never thank them. You only have yourself to blame. Am I correct to say that? The definition of small project is very vague here. I can only say those projects with less than 100 units are very small projects. For projects with more than 100 but less than 200 units, we can call them small project. For those with more than 201 but less than 400 units, we can call them mid-sized projects. For those with more than 401 but less than 1000 units, we can call them as big-sized projects. And for those with more than 1000 units, we can easily call them mega projects. I have observed that when it comes to small projects, many buyers or investors will give it a miss. This is due to a few reasons. Firstly, there is a lack of facilities. The basic facility will include a small gym, a BBQ pit, and most a small lap pool. There wouldn't be any clubhouse or other recreational activities since the site area is small. Secondly, buyers are deterred by the high maintenance fees. A typical small one-bedroom could have a monthly service fees of close to 400 or higher. If you are an investor buying such property, assuming your rental is 3,000 per month, less maintenance fees, less property tax and agent fees, you will technically have to top up your monthly mortgage with cash. Thirdly, they hardly fall on the radar of most buyers or even property agent. They hardly know. If nobody know about them, then how to buy them? Lastly, small projects usually have lower transaction volume. This means there will be fewer resale transactions. If there are few transactions to set benchmark prices, this also means the growth rate will be limited. A big disclaimer here, not all small projects cannot buy. Please don't get me wrong. There are some small projects that are pretty decent and worth considering, especially those with a unique selling points. I have seen a few and they are pretty interesting. Except that they are mainly walk-up or rundown. This is something buyers have to consider. Here, what is the definition of low-hanging fruits? Well, it means fruits that are nearer to the ground and usually they are not so desired. It can be in a particular project. They are usually those units that face the main road or worse, even the expressway. Or units that are directly facing the guardhouse, car parks, main entrance, substation, and such. If the units are sold with a relatively discount to typical units, then maybe it makes financial sense to enter. My definition of a good discount is 10 to 15%. However, if the discount is only peanuts, and knowingly if you enter at such price point, there is a high chance that you may not make a lot in the resale market. This is something you may want to consider. On the other hand, this low-hanging fruits theory is also applicable if you can spot undervalued properties from the better ones. These kind of property are those that many will avoid. They will not even consider it because they are not that sui zhabor. I told you already, many investors are blind even when they see beautiful properties. That is why those who can turn an ugly duckling into a beautiful swan require a lot of experience and skill set. It's not easy, but it's doable. I believe you have heard of cases in which some owners have bought property at high prices. If they were to sell their property today, they would have made losses. Therefore, they continue to hold on to this loss-making property until it breaks even, and hopefully they can make a small profit out of it. They are reluctant to sell and cut losses. This is the problem. Well, this is human nature, and I truly understand it. Let me share with you a real example. Let's use OUE Twin Peaks versus Aspen Heights. Two projects in the River Valley area but with drastic outcome. Let's say you hold on to OUE Twin Peaks from 2017 to 2024. Prices will have declined by 22%. Your property is losing money each year. Let's say you bought 2 million then. Today it is worth 1.56 million. Super sian. On the other hand, your friend who bought Aspen Heights for 2 million at the same time will have seen its prices increase by 47%. This means it will have appreciated to 2.94 million today. This means your friend will have made 1.38 million more than you. When he meet you, I'm very sure he talk louder than you. Here, should you continue to hold on to it or should you sell, cut losses and reinvest? Anyone here would like to pen down your opinions? The above 5 pointers are not exhaustive. I hope the above can shed some lights on your property investment journey. Many make mistakes and some make painful mistakes. Not knowing the pitfalls in this property game. One must do their homework, be savvy enough, do due diligence, and be armed with experienced advisor to ride this journey together. Otherwise, if you are committed to a lemon, frankly, nobody can save you. Just some sharing, I happened to visit IMH or the Institute of Mental Health for the community event last week. I know when I talk about IMH, many will say this is Xiao Lang Keng. Better don't go near it. There is always this stigma for outsiders who are not familiar with this place to associate with them. Yes, it's indeed true that there are mentally unsound residents staying there. However, it is also true that there are many of us out there. Those who seem to be well are suffering from a silent mental illness known as depression. So next time, better don't say they are Xiao Lang there. Anyway, there is a food court that is open to the public. They serve affordable food. For those who are keen, you can drop by during lunchtime. There is also a museum you can visit. Do you know, they have a long history of more than 100 years and the old hospital even existed during World War II. Do you know what is the best part? the car park is free. I asked the staff why. They replied that IMH would like to welcome the public and the community so that we can understand their programs better. Here, I've left the links to this website. You can read more on your own. That's all. See you in the next video.